Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pan from a Job Developer community, and welcome to another episode of the Tech Podcast series where we talk with multiple industry experts, all the entrepreneurs, all the executive directors to understand how they are building the startup ecosystem, how was their thought about the latest generative AI, and what's their thought on the futuristic tech that is coming over the years. In recent years, for today's podcast, in recent years, we have witnessed a remarkable transformation when we talk about when towards the fitness and the well-being, right? And fitness is often we see it through a lens of sports and some leisure activity. And for in order to talk about the same, we have our expert guest with us, Arushi Verma. So she's the founder of FITPASS, and today let's understand from her how she's building this young startup of networking that come up with that brings together all the fitness community through online coaching platform and multiple things. Let's understand better how this system typically works and what are the future possibilities that we can see evolving over the course of time. So not wasting much more time, Arshi, could you please start with your quick introduction?
Hi, Lakshit. Thank you so much for welcoming me and giving a quick brief. Like, I'll still elaborate a bit more. So, FitPass is your one membership for everything fitness, whether it is access to fitness centers, AI led coaching and training, access to personal nutrition, international workouts, online workouts through international trainers or domestic trainers, anything and everything that you may require to get fit and stay fit. So
Okay.
we are currently India's largest fitness network of over 75,000 gyms and fitness studios across 45 cities of the country. Whether you're in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Coimbatore, Kolkata, Guwahati, wherever you are, you can access fitness centers via our FitPass membership. You get AI-led training and coaching. We launched this almost 6 years ago, when AI was just still a new term which people were still coming about, and we thought, might as well give it a shot. And I think in the long run, it has really paid off because we were
Right.
one of the first few to start it, and in the span of the last 6 years, we've managed to gather a lot of data and information on how AI works and
Right.
how we can adapt it into fitness for the Indian body structure and body type. Simultaneously, we also launched Fit Feast, which is our nutritionist platform, where you get attached to a personal nutritionist who guides you on what to eat, how to eat, bases your daily needs and requirements, and whether you have to go out today and there's already a diet, you can quickly message her on the FitPass app itself, or schedule a call and let her know that okay, fine, I do need an update in my diet, and she'll tell you okay, from the buffet what all can you eat, and tomorrow we'll cover it up. So it's a personal nutritionist who gets attached to you, so you have that availability 24/7. And plus, recently we launched international training sessions with international trainers as well as domestic trainers on FitPass TV. You get access to 3,200 plus international studios. So whether it is Zumba from Colombia or Soul Cycle from US, wherever and whatever exercise you want to do, you can get it from the country of its origin.
That's a quite fantastic work, and you have given a, a perfect brief of the features that the FitPass provides, right? And as you have mentioned, you have started 6 years back, and talking AI 6 years back was something very picky, because that time no one was even looking forward to see what could be the feature and what could be the on a longer run how could AI will utilize we would utilize. But now as we go ahead and we see 2023 has been the year, priorly AI has dominated this year, especially by with the generative AI and some this new age AI technologies coming in. The AI boom has been there, right? So we will talk about community, we will talk about the your model a deep dive into further. But right now, I just from a starting point of view, I just for an understand perspective, I would like to know how is the role of fitness apps evolved, right? Especially with the integration of AI. So when you say you are providing an application where one could leverage their fitness, their nutritions and activities with animations and multiple things, what's the I'm not telling about the number, I'm just wanted to understand over the course of time how what changes you have seen in these past years.
So I think lots of things have happened in the fitness industry. So we launched FitPass in 2015, which is more than 8 years ago, like 8 years ago now. And at that point of time, fitness was pretty much the only sector which had not been digitalized and had not been democratized. So that is when we started, where India was still solving for roti kapda makan. तो आपका housing.com, 99 acres, Zomato, Myntra, Jabong, वो लॉन्च हो ही रहे थे is when we started with FitPass. And that's when we got technology into it. And I think over the last 8 years, and especially given COVID and how things were, and people have started focusing more on personalized fitness. And I think most companies are trying to solve it using technology, wherein how can you because individually personalizing each person manually is quite difficult. So it was the use of technology that has really brought about this change in how everyone is providing you personal fitness coaching or personal nutrition via an app or a website or anything that is just more convenient to do rather than to do this. And there's been a launch of wearables. People have started integrating into that to understand, okay, how am I bringing about that lifestyle change to actually move towards fitness? So wearing your watches, tracking it on your phone, like people have become fitness conscious, and it's these little things that are happening around us that are actually helping us build the technology further to help people get fitter.
Yeah, and post COVID, if you will see the scenario, the it has completely the opposite. Right now, people are much
Yeah,
more concerned about their fitness. So, just
absolutely.
pointing towards it, how does the community responded to the online training perspective, right? And how challenging it to bring the trainers in, because ultimately we are talking about a community model where there is a more physical movement, and physical in person movement is always preferred, right? Involvement is physical involvement is
So
always preferred.
I think that's what COVID kind of changed. That physical involvement of the other person wasn't that important because it came from within. That okay, I need to get fit. You telling me to get fit isn't going to work, and that is not the motivation I need.
Right.
It has come from within, and I know that I have to make that lifestyle change. So people were more open to uh, taking fitness lessons online via video, via Zoom call or a Google Meet call. Like that is what it started happening during COVID. And of course, with the launch of FitPass TV that we did in during COVID, people really looked back to us. And because we also have a network of 7,500 centers, even for trainers at our partnered fitness centers, they felt that we were there to help them out because gyms were one of the first few things that had shut when the lockdowns happened, and they also needed some form of and like engagement with their user base, and we kind of gave them the platform. So for fitness trainers, they were very happy to be with us because they got access to their users all over again via the FitPass app. And we, of course, were managing to retain our users because we got, like, instead of being able to give them that physical access, we could at least give them that virtual access to fitness that they required. So I think people are much like they're open to online classes now, and it's not all about physical, like physically being present at the center to get fit.
And well, you are the zoner because you have been in the industry, you are driving this for so long, right? So now taking it a little bit ahead, how does the fitness coach that you have mentioned earlier utilizes maybe AI or maybe the animation part to create personalized fitness circuits, or maybe tailored to Indian body types or whatnot? Because when we talk about AI, there are some particular points that AI used to target, right? So the body movements, because when we talk about our physical movements, the posture and multiple things needs to be included. So how these matrices come into play? What are the tech that you are using behind?
When we launched in 2016 with FitCoach, the idea was to do it a lot like a GRE, GMAT exam, wherein if you and I are giving the exam, but this is 2016, this is obviously built over the years now. It was to so that like if you've answered a question right now, which if you've answered it wrong, your next question will be easier, and if you've answered it correct, your next question will be slightly more difficult to keep you engaged to complete the GRE and GMAT exam. Similarly, with FitCoach, what was happening was that you would be provided a circuit. If, say, you completed that, it was a 20-minute circuit which you completed in 20 minutes, I completed in 22. and say we have a third person who completed it in 19 minutes. So the next day, you will get like a similar course, similar circuit. I will get something easier to keep me engaged, and the third person will get something slightly tougher so that they don't fall. Like nobody drops out of boredom or out of this disinterest. So that's how we had started, and that's, I think, people were still understanding what AI does and how it works. And over the course of the last 6 7 years, what has happened is that we have engaged with more than 10 lakh users on FitCoach. And there are about 134 ways that your body can actually move, like your bones and your body. Like your neck can only go left, right, or up, down. It can't possibly go diagonally. Your hands will only go forward and backward and up and down. So we figured out, and with each interaction, the AI also kept learning and understanding of what are the activities that the body can do, what are the activities that people would be engaged with when you want to work on your upper body, your core, your lower body. That was a learning that happened over the last 7 years. So I think that has pretty much helped. And in the last 7 years, like I said, we've catered to more than 10 lakh users, which, if you look at any fitness trainer who's actually been doing this, he's not going to be able to, he or she will not, in their lifespan, be able to train 10 lakh users. So I think
Right.
just the learning that um, the AI now has is much larger than what any individual person could have.
This brings a very important concern because when we talk about 4 5 years back, right, people were not that much concerned about their privacy or security. Why I'll say, because that time AI was a fascination, right? They were getting intrigued by it. But now when we see, there are, it's already flooded market, right? It's a blood rush market of AI right now. So at this point of time now, and some new tech terms are coming in, right? Responsible AI, privacy concern, security concern. So when you talk about these fitness apps, because there's camera involvement and multiple things needs to be there, right? So how do you see all these challenges that are coming in, and what are the possible steps that you have took or maybe taken or you are planning to take that would maybe settle, you can't eliminate 100% but at least settle these.
We are GDPR and ISO certified in terms of security breach, and of course, we ensure and maintain that none of our data gets leaked. And we've obviously set up the servers and figured it out. Uh, Getting into the question of video involvement, of course, we are currently still getting into that video involvement of clicking a photo and figuring out what your body type is, and then so we haven't started that yet. That is something that we're still getting into. But that aside, our data privacy and all, we're very compliant on, and very particular about that we follow the protocols and procedures and not have any data leakage or let anyone feel that their data could be misused. Because again, this is access to fitness, right? It's not any particular personal information that we are taking from the customer. It's more of their name, their number, maybe their email ID, and their height and weight. There's no
Okay.
other personal information particularly that we need from them. So that in that regard, we're pretty safe of, okay, none of your data will get distorted or shared with anybody.
So again, when we talk about these fitness trainers and or the nutritionists that you have onboarded, how assure the credibility of their knowledge, or maybe when we say, so is this, and what kind of model you are following? Is this kind of something like SaaS model where any trainer can maybe enroll or maybe apply to the FitPass or maybe FitCoach, or it's kind of you reach out to the trainers, or what model you are
Okay.
exactly on?
So for nutritionists, we have them on our own payroll. They sit in our office, and we ensure that they've catered to at least 5,000 lives, and they've actually personally sat and assigned diets. They are interviewed and obviously like checked their back. There is reference and there is background check, and that's how the nutritionist comes. It has nothing to do with uh, like it's not an AI led, AI generated nutritionist platform. It's a personal nutritionist that you get. When it comes to fitness trainers, we've checked their certification. We have, so the international trainers, we have a portal where we've gotten their international certifications checked and everything, and we know that they are Like they are people who can be trusted and they understand how to cater to each body type. With our domestic trainers, they're trainers who are already working in our partner fitness centers. So we know that they are certified and they have been tested. And of course, they come from a background in fitness itself. So that we ensure and we check. We have a team. We have a we have a checklist that we follow. That okay, fine. That how many lives have you trained? How many um, different places have you worked at? What is your years of experience? And do you actually understand what you are trying to do?
And how do you decide the business model here? Because is this, you how the user will decide, right? This is the trainer whom, so you assign the trainers to the person, anyone.
So no. So we do not provide personal training. In terms of the trainers, that is an online class that we host, which people can come and they can attend. So it's not
Okay.
a one-on-one session. We've not gone into personal training. When it comes to personal nutrition, of course, basis the person's needs and preferences, a nutritionist is assigned to them. Basis what her background and her experience is. Now, whether you come to me tomorrow and tell me that okay, I have diabetes and I need someone to someone to help me cure this and get back into the right levels, right sugar levels, I will assign you someone who has a diabetes experience. If tomorrow a woman comes to me with PCOD or PCOS, I will assign, you will get assigned a nutritionist who has dealt with PCOD and PCOS clients before. So basis your needs, your preferences, your requirements, you will be assigned a certain nutritionist who can help guide you in how to improve your condition.
Okay, and how about the business model when we talk about working with multiple trainers, multiple nutritionists who are sitting in office, right? So are user paying for it, or what is happening exactly?
So the user gets a FitFeast membership for 999 for a month, and they
Okay.
get access to the nutritionist for the entire month.
Okay,
And
and whatever extra maybe
and
services or facilities, features you provide, that is additional cost, right? This is how it works.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay, so
memberships are starting at 999 per month,
okay,
whatever it
so
is that you.
yeah, so every business has its own challenges. I really wanted to check if what challenges have you encountered in this model of fitness programs, and maybe what has been your secret source of addressing on those.
So I think the major challenges that we faced were when we were launching in 2015, where, like I mentioned before, people were still solving for the basic necessities of life, and where everyone thought at that point of time when everyone thought access to fitness was a luxury. Like if you had time to go to a fitness center, meant you have a lot of time in your hands, or you have given up on something to be able to get fit. So yeah, either you've left your sleep or you go to office late or you've left your job. There is something that you have given up to be able to stay fit, which is something that we kind of brought about, came up and we said, no, that is not how you have to think about fitness. Fitness is part of your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change that you're bringing. It's not a, I must give up on good food to stay fit. You have to figure out the balance, and that's what we came to help people do. And it's taken us it took us a couple of years to get people to understand, but I feel that once the market got educated and people started to understand, touchwood fitpass really flourished. And COVID in a way came and deepened the thought into people's minds that it doesn't matter how rich you are. What matters is how healthy you are, not the amount of money you have in your bank account. So I think that kind of pushed people further. That okay, I have to make that lifestyle change, and I have to figure out how to stay fit. So you'll see more number of people are now taking stairs instead of using the lift. Now your Zomato, Swiggy have sections which says healthy food, salads. It's
Right,
not all pizza, Chinese desserts.
right.
Everywhere if you look around you, whether it is a mutual fund sahi hai, the ad is shot in a badminton court, whether it is green tea is shot in a park, whether it is a condom ad, it is in a dance studio, whether it is a razor ad, it is in a gym. So you're actually seeing fitness everywhere. Wherever you look, everyone is talking about a fitter lifestyle, and I really feel that the entire market is now talking just about fitness has been a great boon for us. And people have it is what was a challenge is now we're seeing it everywhere, and it's great.
Right. So again, I just had one more follow up question when we discuss about the challenges part, because after the Instagram revolution, we see lots of influencers, fitness influencers, so-called
Absolutely.
fitness influencers are coming in, giving advices, providing some sort of PDFs or some or whatnot, right? So how has this? What do you see the difference? How? What's your take on this? How do you see from a 30,000 feet?
Everybody shares what their experience has been, but I feel everybody's experience is different. So how I look at fitness is very different from how you look at fitness. It's good to have knowledge, but you have to figure out what is good for your own body and what works for you. So something that might have worked for you might not work for me. It might work for me. So obviously it's a trial and error thing. But I think you should hear you can read everything, you can hear what everyone has to say, of course, learn from people's experience, but figure out what suits your body first. There is no
Yeah.
need to start doing a lot of things and then injuring yourself. Start from the basics and move forward.
Yeah, and how excited you are for this, the trend that has been set up by in India, because the trend has evolved in India, especially after this 75 hard challenge that has been promoted, exaggerated so hard in here in India, right? Indian ecosystem, especially in the fitness industry, right? Because of a couple of influencers, those came up and they stood up for completing those challenges. But how excited you are, and is there any increase in numbers after the trends that has been evolved over this year?
Honestly, I think I'm like it's great how things are evolving and everybody actually looking into fitness. And of course, numbers have been constantly increasing. People are understanding that okay, fitness is important, and it's great to have these influencers around where everyone is talking about physical and mental health, where you have to be physically fit. And even when we were in school, the definition of fitness was always physical and mental fitness.
Right.
Like a person is fit if they are physically and mentally fit. So I think it's great that everyone is understanding this and the country as a whole is moving towards a fitter, uh, like a fitter India.
Just I just have one a couple of, because as we are reaching to the end of this podcast, I'll just talk about a little bit more features. What are your future plans to additional more? What are your future plans for adding some more features into the FitPass? Maybe some kind of mental well-being also, or maybe some kind of tracking the fitness, or maybe some sort of. So, what kind of features you're looking forward to?
So tracking fitness is already part of the
Okay.
app, wherein whatever variables you have, you can integrate it. So, and apart from that, you have a heart tracker, water tracker, calorie counter, your meal log, so you know what all you're eating and how many calories you're taking in. All of that is already there. You can set reminders for it. Something that we've also recently launched is Fit Heal, which is basically access to doctor consultations, 32 plus health checkups, getting discounts or pharma. So we've gone into the health category. Something that we are looking at and we are thinking about exploring is, of course, into the space of mental health, but that is something that we are still conceptualizing because mental health is a much larger and much more sensitive topic.
Right.
And of course, it requires a lot of um, knowledge and data and understanding to actually be able to tackle that. So that is something that we are still looking at and figuring out. But at this point of time, we feel that we're giving you prevention as well as cure, at least to your physical health, and that's what the focus is for the coming, I think, year or so.
So, and how do you envision the future of the fitness industry after fitness, wellness, and technology, and what role, do you think as an organization you can play in this evolving landscape?
I think we're doing a lot already, getting so many fitness centers together under one roof, and that is something that we are going to keep working towards. Of course, there is one conglomerate of fitness centers, that is FitPass, wherein we've partnered with a Reset in Bandra or a Yasmin Karachiwala or a Seven Pillars in Delhi. Like there are lots of large names, Chisel, um, other centers like Escape, Salman, the gym by Salman Khan. There are a lot of centers that we have kind of collated together, and I think we're going to keep adding more and more as we expand and keep them all together in as one community there. And I think the tech part is actually helping fitness centers a lot also, because we've now also installed CRMs into fitness centers to help them keep a track of their daily users, their daily users, who's coming in, who's not coming, whose renewal is pending, like just for them to be able to use technology for their own regular businesses as well. So I think everyone is open now to the concept of let technology help us solve and make life easier, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help fitness centers get better and be able to access more, like be able to use that data to actually improve their business and grow.
Due to paucity of time, I have a couple of more questions, but due to paucity of time, we have to wrap this up. But one last question would be: what does the success metrics looks like? Is this the number of training centers you are partnering with, or is this the number of downloads your app might would have, or what's the success metric looks like to you?
I think it's everything, right? It can't be one thing that is going to define my success. But of course, the number of downloads, the number of partners I have, the number of users, active users I have, and the revenue I generate. I think everything matters. It's just the weightage of everything that might be different. And it's not going to be 100% of one thing or 5% of another. It's a little bit of everything that is required to actually know the success of a company.
That's very nice, and thank you for sharing your kind insights with our audience, and thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. This is Lakshit Fun tuning for the Tech Podcast series from Azure Developer Community, and we are coming up with lots of initiatives. So stay tuned with us, and thank you, Arushi, for joining for this podcast. It was my pleasure to host you, and looking
Thank,
forward to for a more healthier conversation next week.
thank you so much, Lakshit.